So I have with me a couple of journals from my time in New York City, and I talked to Kiera about January and February of 2017 being really dark times for me. So I wanted to kind of look back at some of these entries and dig into the things that I was talking about and experiencing. There's a lot of I'm a mess and I don't know what's going on and why am I questioning everything. And this was the time in my life where I decided I wasn't going to tell God anything I wanted. So there's not a lot of desires written in here. There's just a lot of questions. And one of the things that was really hard about this time was how lonely I felt, because I was in this city of 8 million people and walked by hundreds of faces every day, and I didn't know anybody. And so this entry, this is from January 10th, talking about loneliness, and I'm like describing what it feels like. And it's a dark, powdery blue, and it's hollow, and it's not really hard or soft, but it's like made up of a malleable substance, and it's a neutral temperature, almost too comfortable, like it would be easy to rest and wallow in it. And it's not dark or tragic, but it just kind of sits lazy and unmoving. And it will always be there, so we have to take action and remove ourselves from it. And that's definitely what I remember feeling like, this kind of stuck feeling of not really knowing what was ahead or why I was in the place that I was in. And there was a lot of uncertainty. I had never really felt as lonely as I did in those days. And I was living in this like boarding house kind of situation. So there were all these women in my building, but I didn't really know any of them. I lived in this little like suite back area. The building used to be a convent, so there were like 4 rooms. And I didn't know the names of the 3 other women that lived there, even though we shared a bathroom. And this was very isolating. And I had this heater that was so loud, it would like spit water in the middle of the night because it was kind of broken. And I remember like that sound of like steam. It's like this horrible nostalgic sound for me, because I just remember that time of sitting there, my room being really hot, and the steam water coming out of my heater and just making me be like, why am I in this godforsaken city? Like, what am I doing here? All my childhood dreams were supposed to come true here, and nothing is happening that seems good at all. And even though like I knew that God was the only thing I could depend on, like I still didn't even know how to be with him. And like this one from later in January is like, I don't even know how to come before you right now. I don't even know how to pray. And maybe you're just asking me to show up right now. And sometimes when we are in a real struggle, we just have to wake up and take action to do something. And for me, just like showing up in prayer was the only way out, even if I literally just sat there and didn't have words. That's enough in those moments. And through like learning that that was enough in prayer, like that was what started to show me that I myself was enough, even without an understanding of who I was at that time, because music had kind of been taken away from me in this really odd way of rejection. I knew that I could just be, and that was enough. And of course, like when you start to understand that, you get under a lot of attack, like spiritually, or from other people trying to tell you differently, but you just I had to learn how to rest in that. Of like, I am enough in this moment because of who I am, which is a beloved daughter first. And even if music's not working, or ministry's not working, or I'm single, or whatever it is, like I am enough because of who made me. And it's so interesting to look back at these journals, because I can remember so clearly sitting and writing these entries and not having any idea what was ahead. And I'd always been the girl with a plan. I'd always been the girl with this timeline that I wanted to be on, and these ideas of what life should be. And for the first time, all of that had just crumbled. And that crumble is written on these pages, and the stripping away of who I was and who I thought I was is written in here. And as painful as it was to put pen to paper in this time, I'm so glad that I have this space to go back and look and be like, wow, so much has changed. And I can look at that time of uncertainty and say, okay, even though I was really uncertain in this time, so much good came out of that. And so we can't ignore suffering when it happens. It's not pointless. It's not something to always be avoided. We live in a culture of like, do whatever you want, do whatever makes you happy. And I don't think anything could have made me happy in that time because I was supposed to be suffering. And I needed that suffering to happen for me to understand what true joy looks like, because I only understand authentic joy when I understood true suffering. And the more we suffer, the more we grow in our capacity to love. And I'm able to love so much more because of this darkness. Because I had to learn to let go of myself. And I had to learn to focus on other during this time. So I'm a better friend because of it. I'm a better sister and a better daughter with my parents and my sister. I'm a better Christian. I'm a better musician because I understand what it looks like when that gift is kind of taken from you and then reinstalled in the right way. And so out of this darkness comes brighter lights than what I had going in. And that's something that when I am going, like this time of really dark, deep suffering and total reliance on God, I needed that time in my life to become a better person. So people have asked me, well, do you wish you hadn't gone to New York? Absolutely not. I wouldn't be in Nashville if I hadn't gone to New York. And I needed that darkness to make me the person I am. And I like the person that I am now far more than I liked the person I was before that darkness happened. I'm Jessamyn Anderson, and this is my life journey.